Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here. We got another Washington Commanders weekly stream. I got my guy, Juan Gotti from Juan Gotti Talking Sports today. We got a decent amount to discuss. We got the latest moves, in terms of actual football moves, like the Daron Payne move, some contract extensions they made with minor players, some cuts they made, and of course, the Dan Snyder situation. So me and Juan are both a little bit sick, so we're gonna try to fight through this one. But appreciate you for coming on, Juan. And of course, like usual, make sure you guys sub up to Juan. His if you just click on the title, the name right there, go ahead and subscribe to him. Great channel. And yeah, man, appreciate you coming through.
Yeah, I appreciate you for having me on, man. I don't know if I'm a little sick like you. I'm full blown sick,
Yeah,
man.
you're way more sick than me. Hopefully,
Yeah,
I don't get worse.
yeah, man. Life's definitely been rough lately, but I mean, happens. So I would be lying if I said everything was fine right now. But hey, some things it just happens for a reason. But I appreciate you for having me on as always, man. And yeah, I'm gonna try my best to fight through this for the stream. But appreciate you for having me on, and I'm excited to talk about this team.
Yep, for sure. Let's see. What's up, Jefferson, King Sean, Aubrey, Jacob, Gus Bus, Billy, and N7 Commander Shepard. Appreciate all you guys for coming through. So there's a lot to discuss. Let's first off, Eric Bieniemy, that's old news, but that happened, of course. Let's start off with I guess, Carson Wentz and Bob McCain news. Carson Wentz, not a surprise at all. Like, at all. We knew that was going to happen, and it was just a matter of when, not if. And then the other news is Bob McCain. That wasn't it wasn't like crazy news, but it was a little bit surprising because like even if you thought it was going to happen, you couldn't say it was going to happen for sure. And both moves, I think, I mean, the Carson Wentz move had to happen, and then the Bob McCain news or move, I think it was solid. As long as they find a replacement, I think it's a good move. What do you think about both?
Yeah, man. As you mentioned, the Carson Wentz news, it was not no surprise at all. I would venture to say once he hurt his ring finger and once he was healthy and Taylor Heineke and he didn't come back in the lineup because Taylor Heineke had took us on the win streak. That's when I knew we were going to cut him. But the death note, like the nail in the coffin, was that Browns game, man. But yeah, it was no surprise. We needed to cut him because we needed to get some money, for the cap space. Bobby McCain, yeah. When I saw that, I wasn't surprised, like because I wasn't surprised from the point where I was like, "Damn, we just cut Bobby McCain." Because I wasn't the biggest Bobby McCain fan to begin with, but I definitely was not expecting us to do that this offseason. So yeah.
Yeah, Sam. I mean, like I was fine either way if they kept him or not, or kept him or not. He was good in the slot. They're going to likely do a post June 1st cut, which saves about 4.2 million, I believe. So that's good. Let's see. Say hi to some other people in the chat. Brendan, what's good? Said hi to Jacob, Aubrey, Geeps. Appreciate all you guys for coming through. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe to both of us. Juan's channel. Just click on the title. His name's there, or just look up Juan Gotti Talking Sports. So I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's kind of the analysis there. McCain was solid at the slot. They're gonna have to find someone else to replace him. I think they should do it in free agency, or if they, I think regardless, they need to bring in a starting caliber cornerback in free agency as a slot guy, and then in the draft, if you want to, you can draft, let's say, Christian Gonzalez or Devin Witherspoon, and then move Kendall Fuller into the slot or whatever you want to do, and that will work out, in my opinion. What's up, Tommy YT or Tommy T? Appreciate you coming through. And yeah, I mean, we're gonna talk about Dan. Hey, yeah, Dan. It's just thing after thing with Dan, and I just get him out of here. Get him out of here. Me and Juan share this opinion. It's like even though it's a very high chance he's gone. Like I just need to see him gone. I need to see it to believe it because this man has escaped everything. Like it seems like the amount of allegations he's had against him and stuff that he's had against the Commanders that he would have been gone years ago. but he's still here. He's still the owner somehow after everything that he's done. So, we're definitely gonna talk about that for sure. We'll wait for some more people to get in before we talk about that. But let's talk about, I guess, Daron Payne, another one that's not too surprising. I guess the only surprising thing with Daron is that they really did it pretty early. They did it yesterday, I believe, the 28th, when they could have did it any time until the 7th. So looks like they were probably far away from a deal. Yeah, but what's up, DeAndre? Appreciate you coming through. So what is your take on the Daron Payne news?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't surprising at all. We all expected that, because it's going to buy them enough time to work out a long term agreement if they do choose to do that in this offseason. Um, what I still think, is going to happen uh, is that Duran is going to play on a franchise tag and then leave next year for a long term deal somewhere else. Just Juan, you got COVID or what? Nah, I don't know. I haven't taken a test, but yeah, that's what I think.
Let's see. DeAndre says, I hope Dan's son gets bullied every day. I'm not gonna go that far because I have heard that his son's actually like the total opposite from Dan. So he probably already gets hazed enough in terms of like Commanders fans are like, bro, your dad sucks, but you know, he's gonna be gone, and I'm happy about that. Brendan, appreciate the $5 donation. Says, from what I heard, Jeff Bezos and Josh Harris are the two finalists by the Commanders. That could be true. What I want to say though, is be careful what you believe in terms of these reports because, like, the amount of differing information that's come out the last like week and a half. Let's see. Yeah. Abdul, you can join. Let's see. I'm gonna get you the link. But the amount of things that Dan Snyder has done. Wait, shit. What was it? What was I talking about? Oh no. Okay, this is about the information. The amount of information that's come out, and it's just so much differing and contradicting information that I just don't know what to believe. Like even reliable sources, like it's just like I don't know because the amount of different information that we're hearing. So that's what I'll say about that. I saw Hogs Haven post that, Brendan, but I don't know where they got it. I don't know where they got it. I just don't know where they got the information from. People in the comments were asking that as well. So if maybe they can give us information on that. But I think Josh Harris is one of the finalists. Jeff Bezos is as well. And then I think that the other guy, Tim Fertitta or whatever, the Houston Rockets not head coach, owner, is another option as well. And there's always going to be other options. Bezos, Snyder might be able to block him, but at the same time, I heard this from the guy that Kime had on today or yesterday. He said that if Bezos offers the most money, it's gonna be hard for Snyder to like block him because the owners want the most amount of money. So if Bezos is offering 6.7 billion and the next highest bidder is 6.3 billion, it looks so much better for the league and the owners, the future owners in terms of the valuation of their franchise if they can sell at 6.7 versus 6.3. So I think that if Bezos offers the most, it might be hard for him to bid or for Snyder to block him. And got my guy Abdullah on here. Let me add him to the stream from DMV Sports Zone.
Yo, what's going good, guys?
What's good? Let me switch up there we go. So appreciate you coming on, Abdullah, of course. Make sure you guys sub up to DMV Sports Zone. Great content over there. But yeah, Josh Harris, Jeff Bezos, I don't care who it is. I mean, like, I do have my preferences, but at the end of the day, give me someone besides Dan Snyder. That guy is a miserable human being, terrible person. Even to his partners, this man was like cheating money out of them. And I'm just excited for him to be gone. And I will be very, very happy when that does happen. So, Abdullah, your thoughts, let's see, on what did we talk about before? I guess the Carson Wentz and McCain news, and appreciate that donation, Brendan. And then we'll get into the Dan Snyder stuff. So your thoughts on Bob McCain and Carson Wentz?
I think it was a good move. I kind of wish, I'm not like crazy shocked by Carson Wentz because that was expected. Bobby McCain was a little bit more shocking, but I'm happy that paid Daron Payne. Hopefully, get a contract extension with him. But with Carson, failed experiment. Just like every other QB that we've tried for the past, I don't know how many years in Washington. And Bobby McCain, I think when it comes to him, like obviously, like there were a lot of big plays that he let up, but I did think he was solid in the slot. So maybe the coaching staff thinks that they can get someone else and replace him this offseason. But overall, I like the moves. And Carson, I mean, probably going to play overseas. I don't even know. XFL, who knows?
Yeah, the Carson Wentz move, obvious. They had to do that. Other move by McCain, a tiny bit of – it wasn't like a huge surprise, but it was like, okay, they did it. It was a possibility, and they did it. I thought there was a higher chance of Logan Thomas being cut than Bob McCain, but from the comments that Ron and Martin Mayhew have made, it seems like he might not get cut. Maybe they will restructure the deal, hopefully. But yeah, those are my thoughts on that. I guess other things that happened, and this is minor, the Commanders hired Tavita Pritchard as the quarterbacks coach. Ken Zampese's the senior whatever, some role, I believe, like coordinator, not offensive coordinator, but just like pass game or something like that. It's not pass game, but do you know the official title, Abdul? It's some senior offensive assistant.
I think I think it is senior offensive assistant, something like that. I wasn't really keeping up. I don't know. Sorry, did you talk about the whole grade situation that they got from the NFL?
Yeah, I was about to talk about that in a second, but
right.
Thank you for reminding me.
Mhm.
We're going to talk about that in a second. But yeah, we will see what happens with everything. But yeah, let's actually just get into the grade situation. So the NFLPA kind of, I guess, surveyed all the players and had them, rate their experiences with the team in terms of, let me pull it up right here. There was like six or seven different categories. It was, let's see, treatment of families, food, service / nutrition, weight room, strength coaches, training room, training staff, locker room, team travel. The Commanders got an overall grade of F minus. F minus. I didn't even know that was a grade. I mean, it's not even a grade. That F minus is not a grade, by the way. Like, at least for me, I've never had a school grading system that had F minus in it. Did you, Abdul?
Oh,
There's not even. I didn't even have D minus. So F minus is actually crazy. That's wild. And I'll read the grades. Treatment of families was an F, which was tied for last. Food, service / nutrition was a D plus, which was tied 18th. Weight room was a C plus, tied 22nd. Strength coaches A plus. That's great. First. Training room F minus, tied for last. Training staff D, 31st. Locker room F minus, 32nd. Team travel F minus, 32nd. So it seems like the only good grade we had was the A plus from strength or strength coaches. Seems like a lot of the other ones, like treatment of families, food service, weight room, training room, locker room, and team travel. You know what all those have to do with? Money. And who does not have a lot of money right now? Daniel Snyder. A lot. There's reports that he's up to $1 billion in debt. Has no he's not very liquid. So he's been very cheap the last couple years. And I've been saying for a while that don't like how the front office is not converting the contracts to signing bonuses to restructure deals, right? We see the Saints go into the off season like 60 million over the cap or whatever it is, and then they magically create like $80 million in cap space. Well, we never were able to do that. But as time went on, I realized, well, that's because Snyder has no money to give out the guaranteed signing bonuses. Maybe that's why it took so long for the Terry McLaurin deal to come through, because he didn't have the guaranteed money lined up because of he's not very liquid. But all these, food and service, what does that have to do with money? I heard they don't give them like meals on certain days that they're there. Weight room, of course, money. Training room, money. Training staff, I mean, partly money, but also they did have a guy that was investigated by the DEA as their head trainer. Locker room money, and then team travel, obviously money as well. So not good all around. And if you want players to, stick around, that's not gonna be very good for you in terms of re-signing players. So new owner, if that's why I want Bezos. Like with Bezos, all those F's are gonna turn to A's because he's gonna spend all the money he wants to. He's gonna give the resources that the team needs to succeed. Resources will not be an issue with Snyder. So we'll start with Juan and then Abdullah. You guys' thoughts on this, grades and how it reflects this.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all by these grades. It just speaks volumes to this team and how it's been poorly ran. And this is literally, it's literally, like if you told me, oh, Washington got all Fs, and then you look at their owner and say, oh, it's Daniel Snyder. No surprise there. It's literally like it's Dan Snyder. So I'm not shocked that we have all these poor grades. And I wasn't even thinking of it like that. I wasn't thinking of it that, oh, we got poor grades because majority money until you just said something. And then I realized yesterday it came up that he took out a $55 million loan that wasn't approved. And I think you said he has $1 billion in debt. I mean, and then on top of that, when you look at like the locker room, I mean, it doesn't look like that appealing. Now, obviously, we haven't seen the whole locker room, but I mean, from the stuff that we see in the locker room interviews and stuff like that, it doesn't look that appealing. I mean, if the same list, the Vikings was ranked number 1, so I mean, you see their facility and stuff like that. But like you said, it's all about money, and he clearly doesn't have that right now.
Yeah, I mean, you guys said it best. I saw on Twitter this guy. He said, "Winning teams are no accident. Takes investment. Losing teams are no accident either. Comes from neglect and neglect. Sorry, guys, I can't speak. You know what I'm trying to say. This is just completely frustrating. It's just this whole Dan Schneider thing. It's literally like a whole court case where we point out everything wrong this man has done. There's nothing to prove that he's innocent, and the case is still going. But the days are numbered for Dan, and it's frustrating, guys. Like." It's bad when it's not good when your team's terrible off the field, on the field. Just fans not coming to training camp, not be able to get more people to come to games. There's so many reasons. It's just dysfunctional franchise, a circus show, and eventually the circus show will come to an end when Dan sells. And no matter who the owner is, obviously I want Bezos, but anyone is better than Dan, the man Schneider.
And it's just absolutely crazy that this guy is still an owner of an NFL team. Like it's just the amount of things he's done and the amount, like, how many reports do we hear about this man? Every week, every 2 weeks, there's some new allegation, some new report, some new accusation against this man. You just and nothing happens. And it seems like finally it is starting to happen. But if he draws this out, I hope the NFL just votes him out and gets him out of here so he doesn't draw it out and waste more of our times. Like I want this. I'm so sick of this. It's March. We should be focusing on free agency, and the longer we wait, the more it'll affect football decisions because Snyder doesn't have a lot of money, like we know. He's not going to want to give a lot of guaranteed money. So, yeah, it's just very, very frustrating. Let's see. Appreciate that, Super Chef. So, talked about the ownership situation, or we talked about the grades. Ownership situation, we still don't know when it's going to happen. It seems like we're hitting the home stretch, and it seems like Snyder is going to have to sell. So, I think we know, but just want to hear your guys' preferred owners. We'll start with Juan and then Abdullah. You're muted.
Sorry about that. Honestly, man, I don't have no preferred owners. As long as it's not Dan Snyder, I don't care who owns this team. I know Jeff Bezos is the most popular one. Shoot, I'll go with that because he has the most money and he's the most popular one. But it's so bad that I don't care who owns this team, just as long as it's not Dan Snyder. Simple.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Juan here. There's no way you can like go lower than how like the bar is so low of ownership when it comes to this team. Dan has just driven it to the earth's mental core, lava and everything. But yeah, I Jeff Bezos. I mean, the money's there. I mean, DC, why not? It would be awesome, but again, anyone but Dan, I'm all in for it. And it would be cool if Matthew McConaughey or Jay Z was a minor owner too. It's just a little more pizzazz to the team.
Yeah, and I just get so annoyed when I'll make a video and then someone will be like, well, Bezos, is a terrible person. He's going to be so much worse than Dan. Sorry, guys. We have 24 years of history that Dan is a terrible owner. And sorry, my voice is going out. Still a little sick, but we have 24 years of history that Dan Snyder is not a good owner, not a good person, too involved in the football decisions, also the workplace. So Bezos is the one I want. He has the most money, he has the most power, and I think I heard today that if we have a chance at RFK, it's with Jeff Bezos. So, and I would love to go back to RFK. So those are kind of the ownership's, thoughts. Also a chance that Tim Fertitta's in the mix. Him, Josh Harris, and Bezos seem like the final three. Maybe there's another one, but really have no idea right now. Just excited for this to be finally over. Ooh, yeah, I'm so done with Dan. It's just absolutely ridiculous. He's still an owner. But let's move on to free agency. And we talked about Daron Payne a little bit, but your guys' thoughts on Daron Payne. And first, do you want him back? And two, if you want him back, but you don't think we could get a deal done, would you try to trade him before the draft? So start with Abdullah, then go to Juan.
Yes. I made a video on this. I talked about it, man. We can't have guys like we see in the past let go for nothing. Kirk Cousins, Brandon Sheriff, franchise tag them and just lose them for nothing. Compensatory picks, yeah, they're cool, but when you can get a second or even at most a first, that would be way better. And knowing how incompetent this front office is, they probably won't. They probably just let him walk. But again, you want him to be here. Had an amazing year last year, contract year and all. If he doesn't want to stay here, you trade him. If he wants to stay here, get that extension done. It's pretty easier said than done. But again, it's just want to keep the Bama boys together with that defensive line.
Yeah, same, man. I definitely want Daron Payne here. He had a hell of a year, and we can't afford to lose him, man. But again, like Abdullah said, knowing this organization, it's probably a likely chance that he'll go somewhere else. I mean, y'all already know I don't personally feel like he wants to be here, but he's chasing the bag. And the smartest thing to do when you're chasing the bag is to sign the franchise tag and then sign a long-term deal elsewhere. And I feel like that's what he's going to do.
Yeah, I think he's going to go wherever he gets the most money. So if that's here, great. If Chicago or whatever offers him more money, then it'll be that. But it looks like we're going to have him at least for one more year, or we're going to trade him and get some compensation. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, Daron Payne's a beast. Hopefully we're able to, retain him. But I think he's not going to take a hometown discount. He's just going to go wherever he gets the most money. Those are the vibes I get from him. And hey, I respect it. I mean, yeah, go wherever you're getting the most money. You never know when your career is going to be over. So that's kind of the thoughts there. I guess, Juan, your thoughts on the coaching moves? Nothing major. Tavita Pritchard, new QB coach. Ken Zampese's role change. Still need a receiver coach. And then on defense, they made a bunch of internal promotions to replace Chris Harris.
Yeah, so honestly, man, I haven't done my research on like Tavita Pritchard and stuff like that, but I did hear from like JP Finley and stuff like that. People that were talking to him said that Tavita Pritchard is a good guy. He's a younger guy, so he can relate to guys like Sam Howell, Taylor Heineke more. And he's a solid coach, man. As far as Ken Zampese, I'm glad he's still around. He's moving up in the ranks. Um, who else? Let's see. You said we need a wide receivers coach. I think we're getting the Jennings guy if we haven't already. So yeah, I mean the coaching staff is definitely different. I'm gonna miss the guys, Chris Harris, Drew Terrell. Definitely gonna miss these guys, man. But positional coaches don't stay around but for so long because they want to move up. And I'm happy for Drew Terrell taking the job in Arizona. And I'm happy for Chris Harris taking the job in Tennessee. And I think Chris Harris is going to be a defensive coordinator probably next year for like the 49ers or something. And then he'll be next to get a head coaching job. He deserves an opportunity to be at least a defensive coordinator. And I think that's going to be in his future, near future.
Yeah,
Thank
for
you,
sure.
Brown.
For sure. Let's see. Will says build a team, or JP6 says build a team the right way. So yeah, appreciate all you guys for coming through. What's up, Daniel Jacobs? If that's the one I know, shout out Daniel Jacobs. Appreciate you coming through. Hope all is good. Let's see. So yeah, let's go into free agency. I mean, free agency is coming around the corner. I believe, what is it, the 15th or 13th? It might be the 13th is when things get started. And I don't think the Commanders are going to be super, super active. But what are some what are some of the free agents you want the Commanders to go after? Abdullah and then Juan.
I mean, I don't really like the names that I haven't really been keeping up. I don't know. Is there any big names that like you guys know? Uh, that I'm missing?
Marcus Peters or Juan, you want to go?
Nah, yeah, you can go ahead. I was just gonna say, Trey Edmonds is a big name for linebacker, but I don't think we're gonna get him.
Mhm.
David Long is another linebacker that's pretty solid. There's a couple guys. This free agents class is not the best, but there's a couple guys.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, for me, there's a couple. Like if we go Chiefs, Jerick McKinnon is one. If we want to add him to the corner or not cornerback room, running back room, because Jaden McKissick could be gone, and then after that, you could go. I think it's Austin Wiley or Andrew Wiley, guard
Mhm.
slash tackle, and then we could go after that. They did have Blake Bell, tight end. That's another option. And then I would say McCole Hardman is another guy. If you need a punt returner slash kick returner, that is another one. So that's just something to keep in mind there. And then tight end, one guy that I do like is Foster Moreau. He's a sleeper behind Darren Waller. He hasn't gotten a lot of uh, targets and everything, but I think he would be a solid option for a decent price. And then got Mike Gesicki and others as well. Marcus Peters, though, if we do need a corner, he is a solid option for sure. Byron Murphy as well. What's up, Hurley? Appreciate you coming through.
Are there any good tackles? I was gonna ask you about that.
Any good tackles? I mean, Orlando Brown from the Chiefs would be one, and then there's a couple others. But let's see. He says, "Is Eric B about to change the offense up?" I think so. Another friend from my high school. Appreciate you coming through, Hurley and Salvosa. Appreciate you coming through. But I think Eric Bieniemy will definitely help out. I mean, going from Scott Turner to Eric Bieniemy is a huge, huge upgrade. It's a massive, massive upgrade. There was multiple games where Scott Turner single-handedly lost us, like the Giants Sunday night game. That was just awful, not giving the ball to Brian Robinson. The amount of games where Terry McLaurin did not get the targets he needed to. It was a move that needed to be made. I'm happy what we got Eric Bieniemy. Anyone but Scott Turner was the right move, and we'll see what Sam Howell is able to do. We got some other, more comments from Ron kind of saying Sam Howell's going to enter the offseason as QB1, but isn't necessarily a starter. It's his job to lose. But, if he is that guy, he should beat out whatever veteran they bring in. So if that's bring back Taylor Heineke or Jacoby Brissett, I think he should beat them out, and I think he will. So your thoughts on Sam Howell and how that's going to work out? We'll start with Juan.
Yeah, I think Sam Howell's the right choice. I mean, again, this is to all intents and purposes one final crack at it for Ron Rivera, giving the possible owner change. And Sam Howell is the boomer bust. The big thing is, I say roll with him all 17 games because either we found our franchise guy or he's going to be horrible, and we're picking top 5 in next year's draft. So I think we should do that. re-sign Taylor Heineke. But if we can't get him, I want like more of a mobile guy. So maybe Teddy Bridgewater or something like that. But I want more like a mobile guy. I prefer Taylor Heineke, but and there's no guarantees that he get him back. Ron Rivera said he wants him back, so they're going to make an effort to get him back. But yeah, Sam Howell, man, it's the right choice. It's the right choice to go with. And they're speaking like they want to go with him, but at the same time, I heard that Ron Rivera is contradicting himself. So I don't know what that's about, but for the most part, it's looking like Sam Howell's the guy, and that's the right choice.
Yeah, Ron contradicting himself. I don't think we've ever seen that, But yeah, I think it's only the right decision. You drafted Sam in the 5th round. You throw him out there. If he's a starter, we got to steal in the 5th round. He's not. You got Caleb Williams, Drake May. This upcoming QB draft class 2024 is looking nice. So honestly, there's no point of doing what we did in the past and go after a guy like Derek Carr or Teddy Bridgewater. I expect him to be the savior of this franchise. Obviously, for a backup role, I'm fine with that with Teddy B. But again, like you don't trade all your assets for some mid QB. You just can't do that again, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Daniel says Sam Howell deserves to keep the number 1 spot, but how long do we keep Heineke? I would bring him back and re-sign him for a 1 to 2 year deal as the backup. I mean, he deserves to get paid, but I think he would take a little bit of a discount to stay here with the teammates and the team that took a chance on him, and the coach that took a chance on him in Ron Rivera. But could see him going to the Raiders where Scott Turner is. But yeah, Heineke, I think it would make sense. I think, Juan, you agree that we should bring him back. Teammates love him, fans love him, and he's a good team player. Howell likes him. He was the one. He is the one who told Rivera to start Howell the last game this season. So that's I think good enough right there. And then in general, what we need from Howell this year, just don't suck. I mean, anything really is better than what we've had the last 5 years. We've had the worst quarterback play in the NFL since Kirk Cousins has left. So even if we get the 24th ranked QB play by Sam Howell in the league, that is an upgrade of what we've had, and you're paying him like $800K versus you paid a combined 30 million or 32 million for Wentz and Heineke last year, and you're going to be probably pay Heineke and Howell a total of like 6 million this year. That's a huge upgrade, and you can spend that on other guys like Daron Payne and others. Let's see. Daniel Jacobs says, whoever said let Payne drop a like and subscribe, then leave ends the stream. I agree. We got to bring back Daron. He's the best. I mean, him and Jonathan Allen, I think, are the best D-tackle duo in the NFL. Yeah, I saw the Jalen Carter news. You guys see that?
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see what happens there, but his draft stock is definitely going to tank a little bit. And, yeah, I mean, he was going to speak today with the media at the Combine, but then the news broke and he just dipped. But, yeah, I think Howell is the right move. You don't want to go after someone like Jimmy G or Derek Carr because the amount you're paying Sam Howell is so little that even if he's not great, you can spend that money on other players. So you can beef up that O-line. You can spend that on a linebacker like BT alum Tremaine Edmonds, or you can spend it on other guys as well. So I think it makes sense to run it back with Howell, play Howell this season. If he's trash, then you go ahead, hopefully get a top pick, and let the next regime pick the quarterback. I don't want to take Anthony Richardson or anyone like that this year because I don't really trust Rivera too much, and I'd rather the next regime pick our quarterback. That's my take, but let's move on to the draft a little bit. So for me, in the first round, it's cornerback or tackle. Either one of those, I'm happy. So Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon is good. You got Joey Porter out of Penn State, Devin Witherspoon out of Illinois, and then you also have I'm trying to think.
Ringo.
Yeah, Ringo will probably be like a late first, and then in the offensive line you got Peter Skronowski and what's his name, Broderick Jones from Georgia, Paris Johnson. Daniel says, do you think there's any shot we get Carr? I mean, with Rivera, you never know because he loves the veteran quarterbacks, but I think with the Dan Snyder situation, because the report came out, he's about $1 billion in debt. He doesn't have much money right now. He's not very liquid, and Derek Carr is probably going to want 25 to $30 million a year, maybe even more, maybe over $30 million. So it's not gonna. I doubt it. It looks like he visited the Panthers and the Jets and the Saints, I believe. Those are the three teams. So that's probably where it's going to go. So I would say like a 5%, less than a 5% chance with Carr. I could see maybe Mariota. I don't want Mariota, but as a backup, that's fine for me. That's fine because if Howell gets injured or if he's playing poorly, you can go ahead and put in Mariota and he can play okay. Like he's a very high end backup. Him and Heineke are very high end backups. Joe's Montana says, "You think we should cut Logan Thomas?" um, I probably would. He's a good guy, and in 2020 he was great. But the money we're paying him, unless you restructure the deal, I think you should move on from him and sign someone else. But if they want to keep him, that's fine. But restructure at the very least. Juan and Abdullah, your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to cut him. I wouldn't cut him because I would just keep on to him for one more year because he definitely has been hurt. But Ron Rivera, he already put it out there that he loves his group of tight ends. And he's pretty much cutting Logan Thomas the benefit of the doubt, saying that he's been injured a lot. So he's excited to see how he is going to be when he's fully healthy. You still got Cole Turner, you got Marty Rogers, and you got am I missing any John Bates? So you got a good crop of group of tight ends, man. And now I wouldn't cut Logan Thomas because he's still serviceable. Could you do better? Yeah, you definitely could, but I wouldn't cut him. I would definitely keep him on for one more year.
Yeah, I mean, with Logan, former Hokie, awesome dude. It really sucks because he really hasn't been the same since that injury. So like, I have like a soft spot for him, but obviously a down year. And I wouldn't mind if they cut him, save some money, but I don't think they will, just from the fact that Ron loves this guy, so he'll defend him for as long as he's here. So the tight end group, along with him, Bates, Turner, Amani Rogers, Curtis Hodges, I still think it's solid. Could be an upgrade, but I don't think it's one of the biggest needs. Also, Pedro, I'm about to head out soon, but I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you coming through. Peace, man. All right, so we'll probably go for another like 15 minutes or so. Juan, I know you're sick, so whenever you need to go, you can go ahead and go. But yeah, I think in terms of tight end, there's a couple options. This draft is very good as well. So if you wanted to spend the third round pick on a tight end, that's also not a bad idea. This tight end class is great. You got Michael Mayer, I forgot how to pronounce his name, Kincaid or whatever, out of Utah State or Utah. Then you have Darnell Washington out of Georgia. There's a lot of good options. There's a lot of good options. A guy at Oregon State as well. So this is an option, draft where if you want to draft a tight end in the third round, this is a good one to do it. And you can get an impact player. And then you have Bates, who's a good, blocker. And then Armani Rogers and Cole Turner. You got to hope one of those two guys hits. And then David says Commanders are interested in Daniel Jones. I don't know where he saw that, but I'm not paying Daniel Jones $45 million, $40 million. I'll give him 25, maybe 30, but no. I'm the guy. He was better than he was before, but the guy still threw 16 touchdown passes. I'm not paying a guy who throws 15 touchdown passes over $30 million. It does not make sense. It does not make sense. But Juan, going back to the draft, do you have a position you would rather take in the first? Like, would you rather take corner or would you rather take tackle?
Yeah, I would go corner first, and then tackle. Those are my two main needs. But if they switched it up and went tackle in the first round, I would not be mad at that at all because we definitely can use an upgrade over Charles Leno. He's not the worst, but you definitely can upgrade him, and they're gonna make some upgrades to this offensive line. So yeah, it's those two for me. But I would go cornerback first.
Yeah. And then also, what are some under the radar, not under the radar, but after the first and second round, what are some positions do you think the Commanders should target? Let's say third, fourth round. What are some positions you think they should target? I'll go first while you think about it. a little bit. I think linebackers one they should. I think you need to add a veteran and then a relatively high pick, a second to fourth round linebacker. So I would go after a linebacker, and then I think depending on what you do in free agency, I would draft a guard or center in the third or fourth round. I think you need to. Maybe it's a guy that can play center but also guard. I think that is something they need to try to figure out with Chase Roulier. Even if he is healthy, they need to at least plan for the future at the center position. So those are kind of mine. You got any others?
Yeah. So I agree pretty much. I would go linebacker. I would go safety. Um, I would probably go guard two guards. I wouldn't mind getting the center, even though I think Chase Williams should still be the starter. I want to re-sign Tyler Larson. I know he's been hurt a lot, but he's still good when he plays. I want to bring back Wes Schweitzer for that flexibility. He can play both guard position and center. So yeah, those are the positions I would bring back, and some of the free agents that I will bring back for those specific positions too.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Daniel says, "How do you feel about us releasing Bob McCain?" I'm not as happy as other people are about it. Like I know some people thought he was absolutely trash. I don't think he was. I think as safety he wasn't amazing. He was, below average, okay. I thought at slot he was pretty solid. And if they do find a solid replacement, I think it is a good move, or it's a solid move. But if they do what they did with, let's say, Eric Flowers, like where they got Eric Flowers and they just brought in a terrible replacement, that's not a good move. If you had someone already that was playing all right, why cut him? And if you don't have a good replacement, so hopefully they do have a good replacement for him. And DeAndre says releasing Bobby just makes me excited to see Percy. I mean, yeah, but the thing is, since Bobby was playing slot, I mean, Percy's probably not going to play much in the slot. Maybe some Buffalo nickel, and then he'll this year for sure be the backup free safety for sure. I'm trying to think of what else we didn't talk about. We talked about the grades. The Commanders were the worst graded team in terms of how they treated their players. They got an F- overall grade, voted by the players. So that's terrible, and that all comes down to Dan Snyder. Oh, I remember another question from Daniel says, when do you think the team will be sold? I think it's going to happen soon. I think I saw a report that could be finalized right at the end of March or whenever the owners meetings are going on. That's when they'll really start to figure things out. So hopefully by then it happens, just because I want this to be done. Dan Snyder's just awful. I hate the man. I don't hate many people, but Dan is one of them. 24 years of just terrible ownership. 17 years since we won a playoff game. I was 2 years old. Like that's just so sad. And the very few fans that are left were very loyal. But if Dan somehow comes back, there's gonna be a lot of people leaving. There's gonna be a lot of people that are just gonna be like, okay, until he's gone, I'm leaving. But I think there's like a 95% chance that Dan Snyder is gonna be gone. And I'm hoping we get Bezos. Because he'll be able to spend the most money, buy like a $7 billion stadium, and just and we won't be getting an F- on the report card after he spends all that money on everything, new facilities, new trainers, new training facility, locker room, everything. He's gonna clutch up for us. But honestly, again, anyone's better than Dan. Anyone is better than Dan. Let's see, Isaac Siamulu from the Eagles guard, that brush the floor, that would be a solid option. I think we should bring in a starting caliber guard in free agency and have him as one of the guards. And then I would have Cosme. If you decide to move him to guard, I would have him and Chris Paul battle it out to see who's the starting other guard. And then you have maybe draft a tackle and then draft another guard as well. But draft that guard in the later rounds as well. JP6 says, would you draft 2 linemen? I would. I mean, I would draft a tackle and then maybe a guard or center in the later rounds. Your thoughts, Juan?
Yeah, I would grab a tackle and a guard too. If we can't get a tackle, I would grab 2 guards. We need them. And definitely a center if we can't re-sign Tyler Larson or Wes Schweitzer, because I still want Chase Roullier to be the starter, at least for one more year.
Yeah, give me your top 3 free agents from the Commanders, our own free agents, you would like to bring back. No, go ahead.
No, Daron Payne, number 1 by far. Definitely want him back. He had an amazing season. I want Wes Schweitzer back for his versatility and his ability to play 3 positions. Uh, huh. I want Taylor Heineke back. Yeah. I want Tyler Larson back. I want Cam Sims back, but we're not going to use him, right? So I prefer him to go somewhere where he's going to be used correctly. But yeah, those are my 4, 3, 4, to be honest.
Yeah, I would say Heineke. And then Schweitzer would be solid. Jeremy Reeves might be a free agent. We could get him. Daron, obviously, that one's an obvious one, but it looks like I guess now he's technically not a free agent. And then Cole Holcomb, I'd bring back Mullet Holcomb for a solid deal as well.
Yeah. I'll bring back Cole Holcomb. All right, I'll take Daron Payne off because technically he's not a free agent anymore, so I'll replace him with Cole Holcomb.
Yeah, for sure. Daniel says, what happens if he somehow doesn't sell the team? Well, I think we would be stuck with him, but I think the league would force him out. I think they would vote him out, so they would need 24 out of 32 votes, which if you take out Dan, because he's obviously not going to vote against himself, 24 out of 31, so like 69, 70% of the team or of the owners you're going to need to vote against him. And I know you got to go soon, Juan. I know you're fighting through your cold, but appreciate you coming through, man. I'll go for a few more minutes and then going to call it a day. But, man, make sure you guys sub up to Juan on the road to 6K. Go just click his name on the channel title. Go ahead and subscribe up to him.
Yeah, I'll stay to 50 minutes.
All right, yeah, appreciate it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Reeves, I would bring back Reeves, Daniel. I think, he's just very, very, the guys love him. He fought really hard to get back on this team. And I think that, he's very good on special teams. He was an all-pro this year. And then he can play okay at times at safety. And then DeAndre says, yeah, they're 100% voting him out of there if he tries any funny business. And then, yeah, Holcomb, I don't think it's essential to bring him back. Like, if he's asking for crazy money, I don't know about that. But if he's asking for a reasonable deal, I think you got to bring him back. I mean, before he got hurt, was playing okay. And the years before that, he was playing amazing. So I think you got to bring back Holcomb, or you should bring back Holcomb. And him and Davis, and then another veteran and maybe a rookie would be an upgraded, linebacking core. I don't want to see David Mayo, John Bostic, any of those guys out there. They should not be playing defense. Like, they can play special teams, but they should not be getting significant snaps. And Bostic and Mayo were getting significant snaps. So, yeah, just do not want to see those guys in the field. So, Holcomb, I think we're both on agreement that we got to bring him back. And him and Jamin and Davis, and then another guy is good enough for me. Still not amazing, but our defense played well even with just Jamin Davis as our linebacker when Cole Holcomb was hurt. So I don't think it's essential we upgrade a ton at linebacker, but bring back Holcomb and maybe one other guy is a solid move. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely want Cole Holcomb back. You guys know that. There's a lot of people that don't want him back. I think we could do better, but I want him back. He's been here all his career. Obviously, we drafted him, hometown guy. He deserves his contract, and when he got his foot injury and he went out for the year, we definitely was missing him a lot, man. Jamin Davis stepped up huge. I'm excited. It's crazy how it's already year 3 for Jamin Davis, man, or headed into year 3, bro. That's crazy. So I'm definitely excited to see what he'll look like in year 3. He looked amazing down the stretch of last year. So I'm excited. Bring back Cole Holcomb and then sign somebody. I know we brought back Nathan Gary and David Mann, but hopefully we can upgrade better than those guys.
Yeah, I agree right here what DeAndre says. Bring back Holcomb. Yeah, obviously you're going to keep Jamin Davis. A rookie, let's say third, fourth round, and then I would sign a guy like AJ Klein, who played for the Bills and Panthers and Ravens. He's a really solid linebacker. Not necessarily a starter, but better than someone like David Mayo. Daniel says, how are you feeling about re-signing Jamin Davis when the time comes? I mean, it's still early, but he's got to step up. Like his first year was terrible. Second year was solid. Still don't think he like is living up to that first round pick, but we knew he was going to be a project. So this year's big for him. This year's big. If he has a good year, I would definitely, if he realizes his potential, like if he gets to that, spot where we draft him in the first round, if he shows that like why we drafted him, I would definitely try to re-sign him. And I mean, your thoughts, Juan?
Yeah, I definitely will resign him. Cool. Jamin Davis, big year 3. I think he's been fine. Again, no, he hasn't been a Darius Leonard or anything just yet, but again, he was a project when we drafted him, so he probably won't fully like burst onto the scene to probably year 4, year 5, bro. So still taking the time with Jamin Davis, but I like where he's at right now, and I'm gonna head out so I can start
Oh
trying
yeah,
to recover this cold, man. But I appreciate you for having me on as always.
yep. Appreciate you coming on, and make sure you guys sub up to Juan.
All right,
Peace,
peace,
bro.
man. All right.
All right, we'll go for a few more minutes, and then I'm gonna call it a day. Appreciate all you guys for coming through. I know I did. It was late notice. It was late notice. Oh shoot, sorry. It was my camera went out. It was late notice in terms of the stream, but appreciate all you guys for coming in. But let's see. And then Chase Young. I want to say one thing about Chase Young. He needs to have a big year. This year is absolutely huge for Chase Young. He is not, I mean, first year was good. Second year was, you know, a big disappointment. And third year, he was out for the year. So this is a big year for Jamin, or not Jamin, or it is a big year for Jamin Davis, but also Cole Holcomb as well. So Cole Holcomb, why am I saying Chase Young? I keep on mixed up names while looking at the chat, but Chase Young's got to step up, double-digit sacks minimum, or else he's probably not getting an extension. He's not getting an extension, but yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up there. Appreciate all you guys for coming through. DeAndre, Daniel, let's see all the people in the chat. Of course, Juan for sticking through that. Bobby, Brush the 4, JP6, Splitzery, Will, Young Money D1, David, Valentine, yeah, all Joe's Montana. So appreciate all you guys for coming through. Subscribe if you guys new, and peace.